Welcome back to the dojo, y'all. Welcome back to the daily discussions. I'm your host, Professor Hog Sensei, and I'm glad you're tuning in. I'm glad you could make it. I got a great one for you today. I swear I do. So, the topic of discussion is don't be sorry for anything. And I gotta say that again. Don't be sorry for anything. Before I go into the subject matter, I want to give you a small preface so you understand exactly what I'm saying and where I'm coming from, right? The definition of sorry is to feel sympathy for someone else's misfortune, right? Sympathy for someone else's misfortune. How can you be sorry if you caused someone misfortune or you said or did something that offended them and then in turn you say, I'm sorry, when you're the one that were the cause of them feeling the way that they do? It's almost as if you wrong somebody and then later on you feel remorse or regret for what you did. Just wanted to paint a picture, right? Today I had an interaction online with someone. I said something that may have been interpreted as disrespectful, offensive, or in poor taste. Yes. I'm not going to call this person out because there's no need to. If they're watching, then they can hear me now, hear what I have to say. The thing is, right, there was a woman who was twerking, if you will, and she had a caption on her video. It said something like, is this a good thing? Is this a good way to use my time in my 30s twerking? Right? And I said, in response to that question, I said, if you have no goals, ambitions, or anything like that, I guess so. Right? And she responded saying, did you mean to say that? I think she said, did you mean to say that I can't. I think she said it's odd coming from someone who's always so positive, right? And I responded again. I said, well, you're an attractive woman posting thirst traps in your 30s. You can do better than that. That's all. You know what I mean? I guess what she said after I said my first statement, I guess she maybe wanted to make me look like a bad guy, an asshole, or whatever, right? I can ask for forgiveness. I can say I was wrong. And if I did something unintentionally that hurt someone's feelings or offended them, then I will apologize, right? I'll apologize. Saying you're sorry, I feel like is disrespectful. That's just me. I apologize. I'm not sorry. You know what I mean? Sorry has a couple different definitions, and in slang, sorry means you suck. You ain't shit, right? Don't be sorry for anything. Be intentional. Be serious. Take yourself serious. I tell you guys all the time, nice guys finish last. You can be an honest guy. You can be a good guy. You can be a serious guy. But you don't ever want to be a nice guy. Why? Because they finish last. They finish last. They're the bottom of the barrel. They're the last to get picked. Nice guys finish last. Right? When I see women posting thirst traps online, all I see is men in the comment section worshiping and praising this woman for having a nice body or for shaking her ass. I don't know because I'm not a woman, but I think they believe that that is legitimate, genuine validation. No, those guys are horny as hell. And they want to fuck some. Some of them like to be nice about it and say, oh, she's so fine, she's so beautiful. I don't do that. I don't do that. Not only that, when other girls see that and they see the attention that they get from guys, it makes them want to do it. So that's why you have a generation and a generation and another generation following behind a Jezebel pattern, right? I know what I'm up against in this world, and I know who I am. And I'm not going to let anyone tell me, did I mean to say that? Did I mean to say that? Maybe what I've been saying here on this internet has come across the wrong way. I don't want anyone to think that I'm a nice guy, because you will be severely disappointed. What I am is a realist, and I'm not playing no games with nobody on this internet. If anybody comes for me, we're going to have some words. We're going to have some words, right? If I come for somebody, however you want to, if I come for you, it's only because I see something that you're doing or you're asking a question, right? We have seen thirst trap after thirst trap after thirst trap. That's all women want to do nowadays. How can you post thirst traps? And then on the other hand, I'm not saying she does this, but we've seen it time and time again. They post some thirst traps. Then you want to post scriptures, and then you want to ask where all the good men at. You're not attracting good quality men. You're not. What would your father say if he watched your videos? What would he say? Would he agree with what I'm saying? Probably, I don't know. But when we go deeper into the subject matter of not being sorry for anything, we're not getting into unapologetically me. No, unapologetically. We're not talking about that bullshit. No, we talking about when you say or do something, be intentional, regardless of the backlash or repercussions that come behind it. When I say something online, I am well aware that anything that I say can be pulled up and thrown in my face at any point in time. At any point in time. That's why right now I'm telling you, I don't want you to think of me as a nice person. I am not nice. Nice is naive. Nice is stupid. Right? Good is subjective. Good is subjective. Some people may think I'm good. Some people may think I'm bad. Some people may not even think of me whatsoever. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But one thing I will not ever be on this internet is sorry. No. That's not what you want to be. You can be remorseful. You can be sympathetic. But how can you be sorry for something that you intentionally did or said? How can you be sorry for something that you intentionally did or said? Intentional. I had a reason for doing this. I had a reason for saying this. I had a reason for expressing this. The reason may not be valuable to you per se, but there may be somebody else out there who can see the reason of what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. I do daily discussions, and I like to be positive for the most part because there's far too much negativity in this world. Example A, Jezebel spirits. Jezebels stir up lust in weak men. Jezebels stir up lust in weak men. Most men are driven by lust. Most of us are. I can even attest to it. Yes, even me. The positive guy. Right? But as you grow and as you change and as you age and develop, you realize that as a man, you must be in control of everything that involves you. When I'm talking about self, your emotions, you must have in check if you're going to be considered a man. Your ideas and thoughts need to be well put together before you speak or act. And even though I've made mistakes and fell short at that point, that statement I just made, I've spoken out of turn. and said something I probably shouldn't have, but I never took it back. I said, well, maybe what I should have said is this, because I understand I'm responsible for what I say, not what someone else understands. You feel me? Not what someone else understands. And take a look on the back of my shirt. What is this? The sea serpent of despair. Every character that I create, every character that I wear came from me, came from within me. So, if I'm causing despair, it's only because it was within you before. These are the sins, the 7 deadly sins that I talked about. Pride, greed, lust, sloth, all these things. These are the things that lead us down the path of destruction. Lust being one of them. And women who post thirst traps stir up a lot of lust in men who are not getting any action. That's where the attention comes from. So using that as an example, I want you to understand what it is that you're doing and saying out here. Because depending on which way you're trying to go, anybody can trip you up and bring up something you said to make you look bad. I didn't want to make anybody look bad. What I wanted was to make somebody think before they post something. If you post a video and you ask the question in that video, and someone gives you an answer to that question, be it an answer you were not partial to, matters not, because you asked a question and you got an answer. As a content creator, you must always appreciate any and all engagement that you get, positive or negative. You got to learn how to deal with people who don't like you, people who hate you, or people who may not be in agreement or in alignment with what it is that you're doing out here in the world or on the internet. When you post something online, you shouldn't be sorry for what comes your way, because you did it intentionally. You may not have gotten the reaction, the response, or the feedback that you were hoping for, but you intentionally posted it. So, whatever people say in the court of public opinion is fair game. It is never my intention to offend anybody on the internet, but it is always my intent to make you think. Because I see that nowadays people in this world do not think enough. And that's not okay. I am not here to save the world or to tell anybody what to do. But I will most certainly put a mirror in your face if you think you're going to tell me about me. No disrespect. Honestly, I love all women. I have no hatred in my heart for them. What I dislike is some of the behaviors and trends that they like to take part in. It just seems like such a waste when a beautiful woman wants to degrade herself to nothing more than a plaything. But hey, it's not my life. It's yours. Before I close out the video, I want to remind you not to be sorry for anything. Because sorry is to be sympathetic for someone else's misfortune. You can't be sorry for someone's misfortune when you're the one that caused it. Don't be sorry for anything. Be intentional with what you do. If by some chance you do feel remorse for what you have done to someone, Ask for forgiveness. Don't say you're sorry. Can you forgive me? I apologize. What I did was wrong. I wasn't thinking. I was in the heat of the moment. It just slipped out. Whatever you say, ask for forgiveness. Because if you truly do wrong someone and they have not forgiven you, God won't forgive you either. Simple as that. And forgiveness is really for all of us, so we can get past the wrongs. The ones who were wrong and the ones who did the wrong. It's for everybody. But don't be sorry. Be serious. Be intentional. Be honest and forthcoming. Don't shy away from adversity. Face it head on. Get comfortable with it, because it's coming your way, especially if you want to be somebody who's worth their weight in gold, or want to be somebody who's worth anything, rather. Adversity will be there waiting for you. You're going to have to get some thick skin. You're going to have to throw all your sorries out the window. We don't have time to be sorry. We don't have time to be gaslit. We don't have time for these things. Everything we do from here on out should make sense. And if I see somebody doing something that don't make sense to me, I'm going to ask a question. And if they ask a question, I'm going to give a statement. Don't misunderstand me. I am who I am. You can cast whatever opinions or judgments on me you so wish. But at the end of the day, I'm going to always tell you who I am. And if you don't agree with it, hey, that's your opinion. But I'm going to keep showing you time and time and time again. This is who I am. Don't think of me as a nice person. I have the capacity to be good. But when I see bullshit, I'm not going to play with it. Professor Hawk signing out. Hawk Sensei bids you adieu. I hope you're waking up every day with a plan, a purpose, and a smile. And if you're not waking up with a plan, a purpose, and a smile, hey, at least you're waking up. I want you to like this video because I know you liked it. I want you to share this video because why not? And last but not least, subscribe because you came back too many times not to push that button. Take care, y'all. Class dismissed.